everybody. Welcome to Geocaching along the Trans-California Pathway. My name is McNally, and I teach in the geography program here at CSU Stanislaus. Unfortunately, we aren't meeting in person for Science Day this year, but to be able to meet virtually will be hopefully almost as good. So today what I'd like to talk a little bit with you about is this idea of geocaching. So how many of you like going on treasure hunts? I know I do, especially when I get to find something at the end of the rainbow. So geocaching is kind of like a treasure hunt using a smartphone or a GPS unit. It's where we actually download information, coordinate information to one of these tools, and it helps us navigate right to a certain location. Geocaching relies on this idea of GPS technology. That's Global Positioning System technology. A lot of you might have smartphones, and if you have a smartphone, you have GPS technology enabled in your smartphone, and you might use it in an app like Google Maps or Apple Maps to find your way to a pizza parlor or a coffee shop or to your family's house somewhere in another town. The way that technology works is that we've got an array of 24 satellites that orbit around our Earth continuously. And those satellites are continuously communicating with stations on Earth to figure out real-time locations of anybody that has a GPS-enabled device. That's including your smartphone. Or if you're lucky enough to have a little handheld GPS device, that works as well using the same technology. The GPS technology is extremely useful for doing things like hiking. If you're out in the forest and you want to find your way through to a great campsite, you might load some location information about the campsite on your GPS unit, and that GPS unit will help you navigate right to that location that you're looking for. So for this activity, what we've done in the past during Science Day is we've had students give tours to people along the Trans-California Pathway here on the CSU Stanislaus campus. The Trans-California Pathway was installed several years ago, and it was a vision of a biology professor, Dr. Wayne Pierce, and some other faculty members, including members from geography, and they really had this idea of creating a space where people could walk a transect and experience vegetation that you might see if you were to walk a transect from the Central Valley all the way up to the Sonora Pass. So I like bringing my students out here in my classes, and I like to talk to them about native plants that they might see. For instance, if you live in the valley, you might see oak trees located near to your house. These oak trees are located all throughout California in varying environments and at various elevations. And if you have the occasion and you have a spare couple of hours, you might make your way to campus to actually walk the trail and see some of these native plants. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do some geocaching. Toby, I have my trusty field assistant Toby here, and he's very excited to get started geocaching. He can hardly wait. So what we're going to do, at some point, I'm going to show you on the computer how to download the geocaching app onto your cell phone, if you have a smartphone. So to get the geocaching app installed on your smartphone, you can go to your app store, either the Google Play app or whatever smartphone you're using. Go to the app store. So I happen to have an Apple phone, so I'm going to go to my app store. And once it loads up here, I'm going to search for the geocaching application. So just go ahead and type in geocaching. That's Geocaching. Click search. It might take a second to bring up, but this is the app that you're going to want to install on your smartphone. So go ahead and select it to install. And once it installs, you can go ahead and open it, which I'll do and show you what it looks like on my phone. So it has successfully downloaded. I'm going to go ahead and click open to open the app. And it'll just take a second. My phone is a little on the old side, so it does take a little bit of time. So here it's going to ask you to go ahead and set up an account. You can either sign in or log in. So I already have an account existing with geocaching, so I'm just going to go ahead and click log in. And I'm going to go ahead and get signed in. All right, so I've successfully signed in. It gives you a little welcome page here that you can read through. talking about the different geocaches around the world. So go ahead and click I'm excited to get going. And it gives you a few reminders about how to be safe in the field. Click I understand. And then it's going to ask you to turn on the location services for your particular smartphone. And you want to go ahead and make sure that you allow geocaching to access your location. If you do not select that, the GPS will not be able to track you and tell you where to go to find that geocache. So it's going to take a couple of seconds here to load up. And once it does, we are going to navigate to the campus geocache. This is going to focus right on Turlock here. Geocaches are hidden everywhere. Let's look at one near you. So you can click Show Me. And it gives you a little bit of information about that geocache. In case you'd like to find it, you can go ahead and click View. And then scroll, it'll give you the information about that particular geocache. So I'm actually interested in finding the one near campus. So I'm going to scroll back out. I'm going to go over to where the CSU Stanislaus campus is. And I see the geocache that we're going to be locating today. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. It tells you that this is a traditional geocache that has a little container that once you find the container, you can open it and sign your initials on or sign a logbook. Each of the geocaches are set up a little differently. Sometimes there are geocaches where you take an object and leave an object. So you'll want to do a little bit of pre-reading on the geocache itself to see what type of a geocache you're going to be finding. So go ahead and click OK. And this is the geocache that we're going to be locating. So let's go find it. So I opened up the geocaches near Turlock where I'm at, and you'll notice that there's a map with several green dots on it. And each of those green dots is an actual geocache that you can find. There are millions around the world, and this is a really fun activity to do with family and friends. So what I did is I zoomed into our campus to specifically the Trans-California Pathway where we normally would be for Science Day if we were meeting in person. And if you've been here in years past, over the past several years, you might have had the occasion to go out with our students where they used handheld GPS units and let you navigate to some of the points along the Trans-California Pathway. So what my trusty field assistant Toby and I are going to do today is we're going to navigate to one of these geocaches. And so what we're going to do is we're going to zoom right into the Trans-California Pathway, and we are going to see about finding that particular location. Now it turns out that when you zoom into that location, you'll see the little green dot that shows you where the geocache is. And if you click on that little green dot, it's going to tell you some information about the geocache itself. This one's called Trans-California Pathway Project. And if you click on that little green dot, it's going to open up a window that's going to tell you about that geocache, including some hints. So the idea behind geocaching is that it uses latitude, longitude, coordinates, or a specific XY location on the Earth. It knows exactly where that geocache is. It knows where you are. And when you click navigate on that geocache itself, it's going to show you the trail that you have to take to get to that particular geocache. So right now it tells me that I need to follow, and if you move your phone around, your phone is communicating with those GPS satellites. It's telling you the direction you need to go in and how far you need to walk before you hit that geocache and find the treasure. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow the directions it's telling us to go, and we're going to go see if we can find that treasure. It's a little warm out today. I brought my water. I brought my friend Toby. Let's see if we can find that treasure. If I do find it, I'm not going to tell you exactly where it is. I'm going to leave that up to you to locate at a later time when you can make it out here. So let's go geocache. Hey again, I just wanted to show you a few really cool features about the Trans-California Pathway while we're busy finding our geocache. We're still walking in the correct direction, but what I wanted to show you was some of the features along the Trans-California Pathway that you'll be lucky enough to see when you come out. You might see ducks swimming in the creek right beside me here. You might see all kinds of native plants, buckeyes, wild California rose, elderberries, all kinds of neat stuff. So if you have, again, some spare time and you want to experience a nice little hike, I would encourage you to come down to the Trans-California Pathway and hike along the trail a little bit. Bring your family and friends out here and maybe have a nice little picnic. All right, let's get to geocaching. Toby's looking for that geocache. He thinks he found it. Nope, false alarm. Come on, Toby, let's go this way. The directions say go this way. Come on, Toby, let's go. I think you found that geocache there. Nope, another false alarm. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so let's do a location check and see how close we're getting to our geocache. Let's see, looking at my screen here, it says we're still about 260 feet, 3 feet away. And we're still following that line to get to the proper geocache. So it looks like we still need to continue. We are actually heading in the eastern direction along the pathway. And if, depending on when you come out here and try your luck at finding this geocache, you might be actually lucky enough to see some poppies blooming along the pathway. The California poppy is a native species for California, and it has big, beautiful orange, showy flowers, which should be starting to bloom anytime now in the spring. So keep your eyes peeled for that. All right, I'm following my phone. I'm still heading in the right direction to find my geocache. So let's get to it. All right, so we safely walked around the easternmost portion of the Trans-California Pathway. There, my trusty field assistant is following the directions to look at the base of a tree on the north side of the tree to see about finding that geocache. Any luck, Toby? Did you find anything yet? We're gonna keep on looking. Okay, I can successfully report that Toby and I did locate the geocache. We followed the directions. We looked at the base of the tree on the northern side of the tree. It took a little digging around, so you've got to be ready to get a little dirty. But we found the geocache, we signed our initials to it, and we had a great time doing so. Toby was a great field assistant. I hope you can bring somebody out to be your field assistant. Bring water, sunblock, and a hat. That'll help. And wherever you decide to go geocaching, I wish you all the success in the world in locating that little treasure and following the directions and getting to know your world a little bit. That's one of the beautiful things about geography, is that we learn about all kinds of things. So I wish you well, good luck, and I hope to see you in person next year. Stay safe, and thanks for joining me on this geocaching adventure.